Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and this is Pointless, the quiz show where the lowest scorers are the biggest winners. Let's meet today's players. Michael and Jamie, welcome back. You were on the show last time. We gave everyone 2 chances to reach our Pointless final, and today is your last chance. Remind us how you two know each other?
We met through a friend of a friend about 5 years ago, and I was impressed to find someone who didn't sort of reel in horror when I told them I had a maths degree. And we sort of hit it off from there.
Oh, God, sorry.
And we sort of hit it off from there, and we've been going out ever since, pretty much.
Excellent. How did you do last time?
Well, despite my best efforts, we managed to get all the way to the semi-final, but we then came unstuck because we didn't know any presenters of Swap Shop.
Well, frankly, you had it coming. Well, best of luck this afternoon. Hope you do even better. And we welcome now Diane and Roger. And how do you two know each other?
Well, Diane and I have known each other for about 2 years now. We go to the same social club, enjoy a bit of tennis and other sports, but more frequently we're found in the corner, glass of red wine, trying to crack the current crossword.
Oh, very good. Do you play as a team when you play tennis? Do you play on the same side or against each other?
It depends. We tend to play doubles, so we could play together, sometimes on opposite sides.
Good, well, I hope you're a formidable team this afternoon. We welcome Trevor and Alan. How do you two know each other?
We both work for Royal Mail. We used to take part in social quizzes about 10, 15 years ago, and we met up for doing that on opposite teams.
So you've got all your general knowledge at your fingertips.
Well, pretty good on postcodes and things like that. Anything else, geography, we're OK.
That'll all be coming up. Excellent. Very best of luck to you this afternoon. And finally, we've got Krista and Anthony. How do you two know each other?
We met through a mutual friend in a nightclub in our hometown about 2 years ago. I tried it on with Krista. She clearly wasn't drunk enough. So I ran to the bar. Bar was closed, but remained friends ever since. So.
Fantastic. What a result. Well, we'll get to know you more throughout the show. I can't go a step further, though, before I've introduced my friend with all the facts and figures, the man who plans it all, the man who knows it all, Richard. So, Richard, what kind of a show can we expect this afternoon?
The good news for Trevor and Alan is it's largely postcode-based, today's show. There's a couple of questions not about postcodes, but most of them, to be honest, are... you know, I didn't have a lot of time this morning to prepare it all, so largely postcode stuff. 3 new pairs today, so you never know what's going to happen. Although the one pair we do have returning are very, very strong. Jamie and Michael last time got through to the head-to-head. I think they'll want to go one step further today.
Who's your tip?
Jamie and Michael.
Jamie and Michael.
I haven't got one right yet. But
you haven't, but maybe today might change all of that. We've asked all our questions on Pointless to 100 people before the show. To stay in the game, our players need to score as few points as possible, and they do that by coming up with those obscure answers that they think as few of those 100 people gave as possible. Now, the thing everyone's looking to do is find a pointless answer that none of our 100 people gave. Now, each time that happens, we will add 250 quid to the jackpot. Amanda and Dave won the jackpot last time, so today's jackpot starts off again at £1,000. OK, let's play Pointless. In the first round, each of you must give me one answer, and you cannot confer with your partner. Whichever team has the highest score at the end of the round will be eliminated. And you have to be careful, because if anyone gives me an incorrect answer, then this will happen. And you will score the maximum of 100 points. OK, guys, let's find out what our first category is. Words. Jamie looks pleased with words. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And once you've decided, can whoever's going first please step up to the podium? OK, let's find out what the question's going to be. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many words ending in double Z as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any word in the Oxford English Dictionary that ends ZZ. We can't have hyphenated words, we can't have proper nouns or abbreviations.
OK, right. Michael and Jamie, you all drew lots before the show, and today you get to go first. Michael, is this an area you're good at?
I spend probably too much time playing Scrabble on the internet.
Brilliant.
Except Scrabble uses a different dictionary.
Ah, less brilliant.
So I'm going to have to go for one that is hopefully not too risky, and also has the honour, I believe, of being the shortest word you can't play in Scrabble.
Oh, I like this.
because it has 4 Zs, and that word is pizzazz.
Pizzazz. You're hoping to score as few points as possible with that. Let's see how many people said pizzazz. It's good. Very good. That scores you 4 points, Michael. Pizzazz.
Yeah, pizzazz, a combination of vitality and glamour.
Good answer, Michael. OK, on to Roger. We are looking for words ending in double Z.
I think I'm going to go for one that describes the state I'm feeling at the moment. I'm all of a tiz.
All of a tiz.
Tiz.
You're hoping to score as few points as possible with tiz. Let's see how many of our 100 people said tiz. Well, it's right. It's good. Will it beat pizzazz? Not quite. Almost. That's not a bad answer at all, Roger. And that scores you 5. Tiz, Richard.
Yeah, tiz. It only means the one thing, that state of nervous excitement which Roger finds himself in. Although less so now, I suspect, having scored 5 points.
OK, Trevor.
I can think of only a couple, I'm afraid. And I'll probably go for an extremely obvious one. I'll go for buzz.
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 You're going to go for buzz. You want to score as few points as possible. How many people said that? It's a popular one, Trevor. That has scored you 64. That's a high score. Richard, buzz. What's the buzz?
Buzz is a sibilant hum or a feeling of euphoria, and also the name of one of my rabbits, which is why so many people, I think, got it.
Thanks very much, Richard. OK, on now to Krista. What do you do, Krista?
I'm an English student.
Oh, this is just playing right into your hands, for heaven's sake.
So hopefully this will be OK. I'm going to go for whiz.
Whiz. Hopefully that will score less than buzz. We have a nice high score there from Alan and Trevor. Let's see how many people said whiz. "21." Not a bad score for whiz. Richard, whiz.
Yeah, it means any number of things. Can be wonderfully skilled. It can mean the sound of a body rushing through air.
OK, well, we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scoreboard. Michael and Jamie, lovely low score there, 4. Trevor and Alan, however, 64. That's a big score. You're way out in front there. So you're going to have to try and score as low as you can on the next pass, Alan. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? Right, we are looking for words ending in double Z. What do you do, Anthony?
I do internal auditing for a mobile phones company.
Do you catch several Zs while you're doing that?
Not many, no.
No. Our highest scorers are Alan and Trevor on 64. You're not that far behind them, but you want to be scoring 42 or less with this.
The only word I can think of is fuzz.
OK, there's your red line. If you come in below that, you're through to the next round for sure. You're saying fuzz. You're hoping it's going to score 42 or less. Let's see how many of our 100 people said fuzz. It's good enough. Look at that. 37, that scores you, taking your total up to 58. You're through to the next round. Richard, fuzz.
Yeah, Alan and Trevor nearly caught by the fuzz there, but not quite. It means loose, volatile matter.
Alan, you are scoring too high at this stage. Trevor's landed you a score of 64. You're going to have to atone for that by coming up with a fantastically obscure word ending in double Z. Can you do it?
I can try. How about a razzmatazz?
Oh, well done. Look at that. Razzmatazz. Let's see what that scored you. Ooh, it could be good. Oh, very good. 3 points. That scores you 3, taking your total up to 67. Razzmatazz, Richard.
Razzmatazz. Showy ostentation. Razzmatazz.
Razzmatazz. Very good. Sadly, you're still way out ahead, 67. Woo-hoo. Mind you, that could all change. Diane.
Yes. Well, I seem to be left with mostly slang words now, and I'm hoping
Oh, goody.
one of them will be in the dictionary, and I'm torn between 2. Going back to when my dad used to take a nap in the afternoons, he called it a ziz. So I'm going with ziz.
That's not as bad as some of the slang words I was toying with. Diane, you're saying ziz. There's your red line. You come in below that red line, and you are through to the next round. It's good, it's good. Good enough to get you through. And look at that, it's pointless. That's a pointless answer, and it adds £250 to today's jackpot, taking the total up to £1,250. That scores you nothing and gives you a total of 5. You are through to the next round. Richard, a ziz.
Yeah, my granddad also, he always used to have a ziz as well. I'd forgotten that until this moment. But it's got another meaning, which is rather nice, which is it's the sound made by the rapid spinning of a wheel. So like a bicycle wheel makes a ziz.
That is nice.
Yeah. So deservedly pointless.
Yeah. OK, on to our final pair. Jamie.
OK, so I have a word, but again, it's sort of slangy, maybe slightly profane. Well, I can think of another word which is also similar, not good necessarily. Mm-hmm. So what do I do about that? What's your counsel?
Hey, listen, my counsel, if it's gonna score you 250 quid, fabulous.
OK. Wait, I think it's probably in the dictionary. So I'm going to go with jizz.
I see.
I had pizzazz. I mean, yeah. So
yeah.
It's his fault, basically.
Let's see how many of our 100 people said jizz. It's a correct answer. And it gets you through. And that scores you 7, which takes your total up to 11. Richard?
Yeah, jizz is, of course, as everybody knows, it's the characteristic first impression you get of a plant or animal.
So that's the end of round 1, and the losing pair with the highest score, I'm afraid, is Trevor and Alan. So bad luck. We just had a high score there with Buzz, I'm afraid, Trevor.
Yes.
Your mind went blank, I'm guessing.
I'm not very good on words.
Was it the studio lights that gave you that clue? You just heard them?
Give me the buzz, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, what subjects would you like to have come up, apart from postcodes, obviously?
Sport, entertainment, films, television, quite a few actually, but unfortunately words isn't my forte.
Ah, well, never mind. Well, everyone gets 2 cracks at the pointless final, so we will see you again next time. Richard, what answers should they have given?
There are a whole number of pointless answers here. There's 17 pointless answers. We'll take you through a few of them. Bruzz, which of course means to growl like a bear. Mm-hmm. Humbuzz is another name for the bird, also known as the cockchafer. That's quite...
What a bumper show this is turning out to be.
Quite why they needed to think up an alternative name, I don't know. Schnoz, which of course is the nose. There's a few more here. Cheers, which means to cheat somebody. Mez, ziz we've already had from Diane, means to have a kip and the sound of a wheel. A few more, well done if you've got any of these at home. Huzz, which means to buzz. Fliz you could have had, and waz. Let's take a look at the worst answers you could have given. In third, this is the third most popular, jazz. Would have scored you 38 points. Just above that was fizz. And Trevor, you already know what the worst answer you could have given was. Absolute top answer of all was buzz, which we already know scored 64 points.
Thanks very much, Richard. OK, Trevor and Alan, I'm afraid you just didn't have that pointless word knowledge you needed to make it through. But we will see you next time. Meanwhile, thanks very much for playing. You've been great contestants. Thank you. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. Now, obviously, only 2 pairs make it through to the head-to-head, so one of the teams is going to be going home disappointed. You just have to make sure it's not you. The category for our second round is animals. OK, can you decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And can whoever's going first please step up to the podium? OK, let's find out what the question's going to be. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many types of bear as they could. Types of bear, Richard?
Yep, the correct answers in this round are all species or subspecies of bear.
OK, in round 2, we're going to give you a choice of 7 possible answers in each pass. I can tell you that at least one of those answers is pointless, and you have to be very careful because there's at least one incorrect answer amongst the 7 as well. Pick one of those, and you will, I'm afraid, score the maximum of 100 points. OK, the first set of 7 answers are... Here we go. Russian, commode, spectacled, corduroy, grizzly, emperor, and sloth. Michael, what do you think about that little lot?
I am torn.
Yes. Bears do that.
I think Jamie might kill me, because I think he knows this subject. But I'm going to go for spectacled.
OK. Let's see how many of our 100 people said spectacled. And if it's a right answer, it is a right answer. Good instinct, Michael. Down it goes. 9. Spectacled scores you 9 points. A spectacled bear.
Yeah, spectacled bear, you find them in mountainous regions, particularly the Andes. They've got dark rings around their eyes, which is why they're called spectacled bears.
Good answer, Michael. Diane, have you seen a bear face to face?
No.
Ever?
Only one that isn't a bear, a koala, but never anything like a real bear.
Oh, I like that bit of knowledge there. You might have just caused our question setters a terrible, terrible tiz for the next 7. I don't know, we'll see.
I'm going to go with a really, really big guess,
Good.
and that's sloth.
Sloth. Let's see how many people said sloth, and if it's a correct answer. It is a correct answer. Down it goes. It's a good answer. Very good indeed. Sloth scores you 4. A sloth, Richard.
Yeah, the sloth, the famously sedentary sloth, is a type of bear. Very good answer.
Now, remember, Anthony, there is at least one pointless answer in there, but there is also at least one incorrect answer.
My knowledge on bears is terrible. It's that bad. I was half expecting Paddington and Yogi to come out. Seeing as everyone else has got a pretty good score, I'm going to have to try and go for a pointless answer and stay away from the obvious ones. I'm going to go for corduroy, if that's pronounced correctly.
Corduroy. Let's see if it's a correct answer. No! Unfortunately, corduroy is an incorrect answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard, corduroy.
Yeah, the corduroy bear is the subject of a book of the same name about a toy bear and what he gets up to in a department store after it closes. Let's take a look at all the others. Well, grizzly, which is an American brown bear, that would have scored you 78 points. And of the other 3, 2 more of them are wrong. There were 3 wrong answers in this round. You never know how many there are going to be. Emperor, of course, more famously, is a penguin. Russian bear, there's no such thing, although bears are highly revered in Russia. So the pointless answer, well done if you got this at home, was the commode bear.
Thanks very much, Richard. OK, let's take a look at the scores. We're halfway through the round. Well, Diane and Roger looking very strong there with a nice low score of 4. Michael and Jamie just ahead of them on 9. Krista and Anthony, I'm afraid, way out ahead there on 100. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, so we're looking for types of bear. And we're going to put 7 more answers up on the board. Here we are. Cinnamon, giant panda, Kodiak, polar, Himalayan blue, goby, and pilot. Krista, bears a hot topic for you?
Not really. Probably got about as much knowledge about them as Tony. I'm going to take an educated guess and go for the Kodiak bear.
OK, well, you are the highest scorers, so you have to try. I mean, really, ideally, you have to try and find a pointless. Let's see what that scored you. It's good. Oh, it's very good. Look at that. Down it goes to 5. Kodiak scores you 5, taking your total up to 105. Kodiak, Richard.
Yeah, Kodiak bear, it's a subspecies of the brown bear. It lives in Alaska, and it's the largest land carnivore in the world. It can be up to 10.5 feet tall.
Now, remember, there is at least one pointless answer still in there, Roger, and there is at least one incorrect answer.
I'm going to go for an obvious one, and that must be polar bear.
You're going with polar. No, people might have forgotten polar bears. They're very hard to spot against white backgrounds. Let's see how many people said polar. much as I suspected. 84 of our 100 people said polar. That scores you 84 and takes your total up to 88. Richard, polar bear.
Yeah, that's the very definition of a safe answer. Found in the Arctic and on mints. That's where they live. The polar bear.
And so we come to Jamie. You can think out loud. If you score 95 or less, you'll still be making it through. So I think you can take a bit of a punt here.
Cinnamon, Pilot, Himalayan blue, one of those three. Could toss a three-sided coin. Well, coin has three sides, but...
As I said, just think aloud. Think aloud. Let us hear everything that's going through your head.
I think if we're going with things which are also other things, a pilot is a type of fish, so a cinnamon is a food. So Himalayan blue, I'm going for.
Oh, it'd be a delicious cheese.
Himalayan blue.
Himalayan blue. What's your answer then?
Yep,
Himalayan blue.
That's what I'm going for.
There's your red line. I mean, it's just as I'm looking at, about an inch below the pink line there. So let's see if it is a correct answer. Himalayan blue. Oh, it's correct! And it's good enough. I think this might be going a long way down. Ah, one! A very good answer, Jamie. That scores you 1 and takes your total up to 10. Himalayan blue, Richard.
Yeah, another subspecies of the brown bear. Giant panda would have scored you 44 points. Now, of the other 3, 2 were pointless and 1 was wrong. The most delicious of all the bears, the cinnamon bear, would have been a pointless answer. Well done if you got that at home, would have added £250 to the jackpot. And the goby is also a bear found in the Gobi Desert, unsurprisingly. So yes, pilot was the red herring there, would have given you 100 points, would have knocked you out.
Thanks very much, Richard. So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score, I'm afraid, is Krista and Anthony. Oh dear, bears knocked you out there. What would you have loved to have seen come up in this
Anything
category?
but bears.
He says bitterly. Yeah. Krista, did you think corduroy was a good punt there?
No, I thought it was terrible.
Yeah. Sadly, you just didn't have that pointless bear knowledge you needed to get through to our head-to-head. But remember, everyone gets 2 chances to come to our pointless final, and we will see you again for your second chance next time. So thanks very much for playing. Thank you. But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. So well done, Michael and Jamie, Diane and Roger. You've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, obviously, only one pair can make it through to today's final and play for the jackpot, which currently stands at £1,250. Now, you're going head-to-head on up to 5 questions. For each question, each pair needs to give me just 1 answer, and you're now allowed to confer. All you have to do is come up with an answer that scores less than the other pair to win that question. And the first pair to win 3 will be playing for today's jackpot. OK, let's play Pointless. Right, here's your first question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Six Nations teams as they could. Six Nations teams, Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any of the 6 national teams that compete in the annual Six Nations Rugby Union tournament.
OK, Michael and Jamie, because you played best throughout the show, you get to go first. Do you follow rugby?
I've been in a room whilst it's been on. I'm not really sure which one's going to be worst, but I'm going to sort of make an educated guess at which will be best and go for Italy.
Italy. You're giving Italy. Diane and Roger.
I think Italy would have been our favourite, wouldn't it?
France is the other one. Yeah, OK.
Go for France?
Yeah.
OK.
We decided? Yep. We're going to go for France.
Going for France. All right, well, we'll assess them in the order they've been given. Michael and Jamie in gold have said Italy. Let's see how many of our 100 people have said Italy. $47. 47. Diane and Roger have said France. Diane and Roger in blue. Let's see how many of our 100 people said France. So Italy wins it. After the first question, it's 1-0 to Michael and Jamie. Richard.
Yeah, that's the way to play it. Italy, of course, was the killer answer there. There's nothing Diane and Roger could have done. Let's take a look at all 6 and how they scored. Italy, bottom of the heap. Ireland would have been the next best answer. Scotland, France third. Wales was 76, and England with 85.
OK, so after the first question, it is 1-0 to Michael and Jamie. Right, here's your second question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many of the 7 dwarfs as they could. Richard, the 7 dwarfs.
Yeah, we're looking for the names of any of the 7 dwarfs from the 1937 Disney film Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. And it says here there are 7 possible answers.
Thanks very much, Richard. Diane and Roger, it's your turn to go first.
OK, no. We're having a bit of a contretemps here because
OK.
we're not agreeing on it.
I see. Well, have a little whispered scrap about it.
Bashful. No, but yeah. OK, I've been given the go-ahead.
You've been given the go-ahead.
Yes, we're going for bashful.
OK, bashful is go. Bashful is go. Michael and Jamie.
OK,
pick a
so
dwarf.
the 7 are Doc, Bashful, Dopey, Sneezy, Sleepy, Grumpy, and the one you always forget because it's the last one.
Yeah, whatever.
Should we go
Who
for
cares
Doc?
about that 7th dwarf?
Should we go for Doc? What do you think?
Yeah, OK. Let's go for Doc.
We're going to go for Doc.
You're going to go for Doc, the only non-adjectival dwarf. OK. Diane and Roger have said bashful. Let's see how many of our 100 people said bashful. 42. 42. Is that a good score or a not so good score? What do you think, Roger?
About the same as the last answer that pipped us, so could be all right.
It could be all right. Michael and Jamie have gone for Doc. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Doc. And it oh! So after our second question, it is 1-1. Couldn't be more exciting. Richard?
Yeah, I think bashful appropriately was the best answer you could have given, the most obscure of the dwarfs. So far, both teams playing this round perfectly. Let's take a look at all 7, see if you can find the one that you forgot as well. Bashful, then happy. Sneezy, Doc was 4th there, and the 3 worst answers, the 3 most popular, grumpy, dopey, and sleepy.
Here is your third question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many chemical elements beginning with S as they could. A look of unbridled euphoria on the faces of Michael and Jamie. Richard.
We're looking for any chemical element on the periodic table whose name begins with S. We're looking at the name has to begin with S, not the symbol. 9 possible answers, and if you get all of these at home, well done. That's more impressive than getting the 7 dwarfs.
OK, Michael and Jamie, take it away amongst yourselves.
Got a bit of a thing for the periodic table. It's pretty...
Haven't we all?
Yeah,
haven't we all?
It's a beautiful thing. It's nicely laid out. There's the lanthanides and the actinides are a bit sort of...
Yeah, aren't they?
Can't you fit them in? Can't you fit them in somewhere? Yeah. But no, apparently not.
I'm like, what's going on there with those?
Yeah, with that. I'm totally across that, yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to go for samarium.
Samarium?
Which I think is radioactive.
Good call, Jamie. I was thinking, yeah, good one. Yeah, samarium. Yeah, glad someone got that. OK, so Michael and Jamie going with samarium. Diane and Roger.
Right. We're discussing the chemical element side and whether some of our answers are not chemicals, and there may be other elements. So I think cesium is a possibility. You think it may begin with C?
I don't know. I always thought of it as beginning with C, but I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah,
That's
it could be named after Caesar. Yeah.
Well, I wondered.
Silicon?
Silicon. It's very
Is that a chemical?
I don't know. Well, go with your first.
We'll try Caesar.
Are you sure your spelling's not your strong point?
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
I think we've got to take a risk.
OK, we'll take a risk.
They know what
We'll
they're
take a
talking
risk.
about.
It's even Stevens.
Yep.
They do.
OK. Deep breath. We're going for cesium.
Cesium, you say. OK, so we will approach these as they've been given to us. Michael and Jamie have given us samarium. Let's see how many of our 100 people said samarium. Oh, it's good. It's very good, isn't it? Down it goes. Is it going all the way? Not quite, not quite. A good answer. That scores them just 1. OK, Diane and Roger, you have gone for cesium. Let's see if that's a correct answer, and if it is, Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer. So after 2 questions, it's 2-1 to Michael and Jamie. Rich?
Yeah, cesium, as you suspected, begins with C, but you had to have a go at it because once again, for the 3rd question in a row, we got the best possible answer. Samarium, which is it's a rare earth metal. You're telling me. Let's take a look at all 9 answers in order. So we'll see samarium right at the bottom of the list. Seaborgium, which was named after the nuclear chemist Glenn Seaborg. I wish I was a nuclear chemist. Sometimes I think I'm wasting my life. Scandium would have scored you 5. Let's take a look at the others. Again, if anyone got all 9 of these at home, well done. I suspect you may be related to Jamie. Selenium, strontium would have got strontium 14. Silicon would have got you 15. I know you're thinking of going for that. Wouldn't have helped you. Sulfur, 47. And the worst answers you could have given, silver would have scored you 51. And guys, what do you think the top answer that was?
I don't know, I'm struggling. I remember things like Seaborgium, although I wasn't sure that would be there because I think that used to be one of the ones near the end where they hadn't named them yet. Anyway.
You're no good with bad answers. It's sodium.
Oh, yeah.
Would have scored 56 points.
I always think of that as an N's because, you know, Na for sodium, so.
Oh,
anyway.
You know what? Tell me about it. you and me, we're like as like.
So, after 2 questions, it's 2-1 to Michael and Jamie. Here is your 4th question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Amy Winehouse singles as they could. Richard?
Yeah, we're looking for any single released by Amy Winehouse that's reached the UK top 40, and collaborations do count. There have only been 5 top 40 singles.
OK, it's Diane and Roger to go first this time. You have to win this point. Otherwise, they are through to the final, those 2.
We really are not sure of any singles from Amy Winehouse, so we are going to take a complete guess. We're going to be radical. We're going for Touched.
You're going radical, you're going touched. Right, that is your Amy Winehouse single, Touched. Michael and Jamie.
So Amy Winehouse is popular and things.
She is both of those things.
Which one is she?
Popular.
She's the one with the bouffant hair, sort of like me but a woman, and
She looks like she's got a tower.
No, that's Anita Bruckner, I think.
I think she has Valerie, because...
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of that song. And I think she has an album called Back to Black, which maybe there's also a single from. I don't know. I don't want to get a wrong answer, but if Touched is an answer,
Well,
then...
if Touched is an answer, it's going to be better than...
Yeah, OK, so let's go for Valerie, because that's probably safe.
OK, you need to give the most obscure answer you can. You need to give a correct answer, if you can. We're going to assess these as they've been given to us. Diane and Roger have given us Touched. This to keep you in the running. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Touched and whether it is a correct answer. No! It was a worthy punt, but I'm afraid it was an incorrect answer. So Michael and Jamie have said Valerie. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Valerie, and if it is also a correct answer. It only has to be correct to win, obviously, at this stage. It is correct. That's a place in the final. Very good indeed. So, after our 4th question, Michael and Jamie have secured their place in the final jackpot round. The score is 3-1. Richard?
Yeah, Valerie reached number 2 in 2007, Amy Winehouse with Mark Ronson, cover of the Zooton song. And for the first time in the whole series, I predicted the finalists.
You have.
It's only taken a couple of weeks. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done if you've got all 5 of these at home, or if you've got all 5 of these at home. Tears Dry on Their Own was the best answer you could have given. We'll score 3 points. Then You Know I'm No Good. Valerie scored you 25. Then Back to Black, you're right, Jamie, was a single from the album of the same name. And then Rehab would have scored you 38 points.
Well, thanks very much, Richard. So the losing pair at the end of the head-to-head, I'm afraid, is Diane and Roger. Oh, it's tough, that, wasn't it? Amy Winehouse. What would you love to have had? I mean, you know, we do get all sorts of different topics up here.
Geography,
were pretty good.
Geography?
Yeah. History, perhaps.
History. Well, Diane and Roger, you came so close to making it all the way. I mean, you got as far as the head-to-head. And you've only wasted one of your chances to reach the pointless final, so we will see you again next time when we hope you go even further. Thanks very much, meanwhile, though. You've been great contestants. But for Michael and Jamie, it's time for our pointless final. So congratulations, Michael and Jamie. You fought off all the competition and you've won our coveted pointless trophy. Yeah, right. Now, however, you've got a chance to win our pointless jackpot. And at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £1,250. OK, the rules are very simple. To win the money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer that no one else could think of. We've had one pointless answer on the show today, and it wasn't from you, but let's hope you can find one now. First, though, you've got to choose a category from these three options, and you can go for goal scorers, 90s boy bands, and US politics. Oh, which of those ones?
Well, 90s boy bands I'd rather not think about, just generally. Goal scorers,
I wouldn't be able to help you out there.
I like football, but that's going to be something. It's going to be it's
going to be something bizarre. I guess we've got to go for US politics.
Yeah, I think we've got to go for US politics.
US politics by a process of elimination. US politics it is. OK, let's find out what the question's going to be. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many US vice presidents since 1945 as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for anyone who served as the Vice President of the United States of America since January the 1st, 1945. There are 15 possible answers.
OK. You now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. And all you need to win that £1,250 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Your 60 seconds begin now.
G. Dawes and Thomas R. Marshall were all the 1920s.
Oh, really? Spyro Agnew is
He's
Nixon's.
quite famous.
Who was Clinton's?
Oh, Clinton's Al Gore, but he's incredibly obvious. We could pick an early-ish president.
Yeah,
and
like
hope no one thought of them.
Like Woodrow Wilson, maybe.
I know, 1945.
Yeah, but he might have come back to be vice president. You never know.
From the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 seconds, go on.
Can we think of any other ones? I mean, JFK was, I'm pretty certain.
He was?
I think so. Who was the guy that replaced JFK and became president?
Lyndon B. Johnson. Yeah.
Rubbish, but...
We've got to have 3, so otherwise we look like idiots.
Can we think of any others? Who was before those guys?
Lyndon B. Johnson, Eisenhower, maybe he was a vice president, but he would have been
10.
post-1945.
We're just going to go for those 3, aren't we?
Yeah.
OK, you've landed on your 3.
Yep,
Yeah.
think so.
OK, let's stop the clock. What are your 3 answers going to be?
Well, we're not optimistic, but we're going to go for JFK, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
And Spyro Agnew.
And Spyro Agnew.
Which
of those is the one you have most faith in?
I think Spyro Agnew, of those.
Of those, I guess.
Of those? OK, we'll put that third.
And
then which of those is your least?
I think JFK, because we know Lyndon B. Johnson was...
Yeah, but I think he's less well known in general, and yeah, I'd go for him as the next least likely, and then JFK is the most likely.
OK, let's put those up on the board. There's John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, and Spyro Agnew. OK, we'll start off with your first answer, which is John F. Kennedy. This is your first shot at the jackpot. And obviously, if you're going to win, this has to be pointless. You're hoping that he was a vice president before he was president, and therefore people have forgotten him as vice president. OK, we were looking for US vice presidents since 1945. You have said, as your first answer, the one you have the least faith in, JFK. Let's see if it's a correct answer, and if it is, maybe it might be pointless. Let's see how many people said JFK. This for £1,250. Oh, sadly incorrect. That is not a pointless answer. You only have 2 more chances to win today's jackpot. We are looking for US vice presidents. Your second answer, Lyndon B. Johnson. Same tactic.
Probably the most famous vice president, given he then became president.
OK, this has to be a pointless answer for you to win that jackpot of £1,250. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Lyndon B. Johnson. Well, we knew it was correct. Maybe this will go all the way down. You never know what our 100 people knew. This has to be pointless for you to win the jackpot of £1,250. Sadly not. 12 people said Lyndon B. Johnson, so that also is not a pointless answer. It was good, though. It was better than incorrect.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's a whole
We're
88
improving,
points better. You are doing very well.
If we improved by the same percentage last time. then-
Exactly.
We still wouldn't get to 0.
Exactly.
Oh, mathematicians, honestly. Right, you only have one final chance to win today's jackpot. We are looking for US Vice Presidents since 1945. You said this was the answer you were most confident with. This has got to be pointless. We've really got to hope that nobody said Spyro T. Agnew for you to win today's jackpot of £1,250. You confident now?
As long as you didn't ask anyone who was...
Live.
Yeah, then.
Okay, this is your third chance of winning the jackpot of £1,250. Let's not put it off any longer. Let's find out if it is a correct answer, and if so, how many of our 100 people said Spyro T. Agnew? It's correct. It's correct. It's going down. This has to go all the way down for you to win £1,250. Down it goes. Oh, no! Oh, that's unfortunate. Sadly, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, so I'm sorry, you don't win today's jackpot of £1,250, which rolls over to the next show. But you've been amazing contestants, and you do get to take home our pointless trophy. You did incredibly well, considering you had 3 categories you weren't particularly thrilled with.
Yeah.
If it had been pre-1945, we'd actually learnt some stupid vice presidents like Charles G. Curtis and Robert R. Marshall and Charles Dawes.
Those were almost all wrong, but...
Really?
Yeah.
You know them anyway.
Yeah.
He learnt them, and we can confer and...
Yeah, exactly.
find new
You'd have been
elements.
fine. Richard, what should they have said?
Well, Spyro T. Agnew was unlucky. He was, of course, Nixon's first vice president. There were, out of those 15 names, 5 pointless answers, a couple of which I think you could have got, and certainly at home, if you got any of these, well done. You were wondering if any future presidents had been vice president. Harry S. Truman would have won you the money. The S, of course, famously stands for nothing at all. Just put there to sound good.
Yeah, I don't think we'd have...
Walter Mondale as well, you could have got. He was Carter's vice president and stood for president himself in 1984. Hubert Humphrey, he was Johnson's vice president, and there were 2 others, slightly more obscure. Alban Barkley, actually Truman's vice president, and Henry Wallace, who was one of Franklin D. Roosevelt's vice presidents. Well done at home if you got any of those.
Do you feel any better now you've seen the answers?
Yeah, I do anyway.
I knew Henry Wallace and Walter Mondale, but they'd completely
Gone.
gone.
Well, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to Michael and Jamie, but you've been fantastic contestants. I mean, the answers you've given over the show have been... the 2 shows you've been on, actually, have been entirely memorable, and most of them for the right reasons. You did phenomenally well with the periodic table. The knowledge you've shown, and also the tactics you've shown, I think, have been commendable. Thank you so much for playing. Brilliant contestants. Nobody has won our jackpot today, so it rolls over again, which means the next show we'll be playing for £2,250. Join us next time, see if someone can win it on Pointless. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.